An emergency NATO summit took place today in Brussels, and President Biden had a press conference to discuss Russia and Ukraine. And an Oklahoman congressional candidate steps down from the race. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Adam Dickinson.
And I'm Mady Daddario. Tonight we begin with an update on the emergency NATO summit that took place in Brussels, Belgium today. President Joe Biden sends a message to Russian President Vladimir Putin from Brussels as NATO combines its efforts to back Ukraine. CNN's Isabella Rosales has more.
Standing up to Russia.
NATO has never been more united than it is today.
At NATO headquarters, high-stakes emergency summits. World leaders unveiling the next phase to hit back at Moscow.
Putin is getting exactly the opposite what he intended to have as a consequence of going into Ukraine.
Fresh sanctions are on the way as world leaders aim to tighten the economic noose on the Kremlin. Allies sending Ukraine new military assistance. And on Europe's eastern flank, NATO bolstering its own defense.
No matter how this war ends, the security environment here in Europe has changed.
But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is pleading for more.
I just want you to know that the alliance can save Ukrainian lives from Russia's strikes.
On the front lines, rubble and human devastation. Widespread destruction and deserted streets, and the once thriving port city of Mariupol. A teen witnessing the death of his mother.
I just remember, I woke up in road, I see the broken car, and I see my mother going in fire.
A month into the invasion, Ukrainian troops counterattacking. A U.S. official says the Ukrainians successfully pushed back Russian troops outside Kyiv. The Ukrainian Navy says it has destroyed a Russian warship. And in Russian-occupied Kherson, a Ukrainian flag draped over City Hall, a symbol of hope and defiance. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Biden has announced that an additional $100 billion in humanitarian aid will be sent to Ukraine, and the United States will be opening its borders for refugees.
The controversial Senate bill, the Oklahoma Empowerment Act, failed late last night in a 24-22 vote. The bill had received backlash from the Democratic Party as it would have provided state funding to private schools. The denial of the bill has given a blow to Governor Kevin Stitt's political agenda. Had the bill been passed, House Speaker Charles McCall would not give the legislation a further hearing.
And today, an Oklahoma congressional candidate dropped out of the congressional race. OU Nightly's Dakota McDowell-Wapakichi is live at the Oklahoma State Capitol with more. Dakota?
I'm saying that she is ending the campaign to focus on herself and her happiness. She said she received death threats from people using the internet and said that she tried to end her own life by taking whatever she had around her. Political analyst Scott Mitchell said the race between Democrats against the incumbent Republican Stephanie Bice is unwinnable.
And a Democrat winning in an off election with the Democrat in the White House, absolutely impossible to win for a Democrat.
Today, Today, Abby Broyles stepped out of the race for the 5th Congressional District. She released a statement using Medium.com saying that she's ending the campaign to focus on herself and her happiness. She said she received death threats from people using the internet and said that she tried to end her own life by taking whatever she had around her. Political analyst Scott Mitchell said the race between Democrats against the incumbent Republican Stephanie Bice is unwinnable.
Thanks, Dakota. President Biden says that Russia should be removed from the G20 organisation. Jayden Brannon has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Adam. President Joe Biden says he believes Russia should be removed from the G20, a group consisting of the world's largest economies. Biden claims that if the 2022 host, Indonesia, or other member nations do not agree with the removal, Ukraine should be able to attend and observe. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says, quote, "It cannot be business as usual for Russia in international institutions and in the international community." Biden says it should be up to Ukraine if they want to cede some of its territory in order to reach ceasefire. And as previously mentioned, the mayor of a Russian-occupied city in Ukraine has allowed a large Ukrainian flag to be draped over the city hall. Russian troops are normally stationed in the area, but did not intervene. Several Ukrainian citizens have participated in protests in front of the building since Russian forces arrived. In a Facebook post, the mayor says the wire that held the flag was damaged the first night the city was shelled, and that he's glad they were finally able to replace it for their hero city. Former President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit for $24 million this morning against Hillary Clinton and those allegedly involved with opposition research in his 2016 presidential campaign. Trump is accusing Clinton and the Democratic National Committee of formulating ties between Trump's campaign and Russia. The federal criminal investigations into the Trump campaign resulted in convictions of several campaign associates. The lawsuit claims this started an unfounded federal investigation and media frenzy. Clinton has not yet commented on the lawsuit. And the Pledge of Allegiance is typically recited at all levels of government meetings, but a county supervisor in Wisconsin is fighting to have it removed from the agendas for good. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Jayden. The National Weather Center is hosting its Rising Sophomore Day in person tomorrow morning, in conjunction with OU Admitted Students Day, which will bring 1,200 guests to campus. The university is hosting this event in order to assimilate first-year students with their degree-granting college. Friday, the College of Geographic Sciences is holding its open house, which will include tours of the Weather Center and a student panel.
This will be the first time that a lot of them will be exposed to different student groups and organizations, different research institutes and entities that lie within their college as well. So it just gives them a chance to see what all of that is about and what they can really look forward to as they move into their major coursework.
While the National Weather Center remains closed to the public due to COVID precautions, students and people affiliated with the college are welcome inside.
The sun is shining on this beautiful March day, but springtime in Oklahoma brings a lot of unexpected surprises.
OU Nightly's Hannah Gard has a first look at today's weather and how long this sunshine is going to be sticking around. Hannah?
Well, Maddie, I'm tracking beautiful weather today. We're already much warmer than we were yesterday, around 10 degrees warmer in central Oklahoma. Up in the Panhandle, you can see mid-20s. So it's definitely feeling warmer than it was yesterday in the 70s. Most of us feeling 60s, some of us a bit cooler in the northeastern part of the state. But these strong northerly winds are causing us some problems in the Panhandle with fire weather. But coming up, I'll have more on what our weekend outlet is looking like. And we'll also have a chance for more severe weather next week, guys.
And OU was awarded a grant that could bring major medical advancements to Oklahoma. Find out how this multi-million-dollar grant could help develop a new technology in cancer tracking when OU Nightly returns.
And one industry is calling for an end to mask mandates. We'll tell you why 10 companies are calling on President Biden to cut restrictions. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
OU was just awarded over $11 million in a 5-year grant and is using the money to help develop new methods to identify and track cancer. The Oklahoma Center of Medical Imaging for Translational Cancer Research is being developed through a collaboration with the Kaleigh College of Engineering and the OU Health Stevenson Cancer Center in an effort to change the way experts treat cancer.
So we hope so the research can have more clinical impact or significance in the future to improve the cancer diagnosis and treatment.
The federal grant from the Center of Research Excellence programs aims to develop more quantitative imaging for establishing consistency in the field.
And 7 children overdosed on sleeping pills on Wednesday in Virginia. Ashley Vandervelde has that story and more in HealthBeat.
A house of young children were rushed to a Virginia hospital after overdosing on sleeping pills Wednesday. 4 children ages 1, 2, 3, and 4 were found unresponsive, while 2 6-year-olds and a 7-year-old showed signs of sleepiness. Investigators believe the 7-year-old child gave the other his sleeping pills.
They were left unsupervised for a short period of time, and one of the kids that has a prescription medication got into his prescription medication and shared it with the other children here.
The pill bottle did not have a label on it. After questioning the 7-year-old and consulting with doctors at John Randolph Medical Center, investigators determined sleeping pills are the focal point. If you're boarding a plane soon, you may just be flying without a mask. 10 airlines, including American, Delta, United, and Southwest, are calling on President Joe Biden to end the federal mask mandate. This includes testing requirements for international travel. The mandate ends April 18th, barring another extension. The White House is consulting the CDC about lifting the mandate sooner, but the CDC warns the new Omicron subvariant is more transmissible than the original version. And Pfizer is voluntarily recalling 3 blood pressure medications. There is a concern over an organic compound, nitrosamine, found in them, which could pose a cancer risk over time through exposure to excessive levels. The company recalled Accuredic tablets as well as 2 authorized generics distributed by Greenstone. If you have the recalled lot, talk to your doctor about alternative medications you can take, but do not stop taking the medicine until you get a replacement. And it's National Poison Prevention Week. Doctors warn children ingesting edibles is the newest common danger to be aware of. Adam and Mady, back to you at the desk.
As the spring home buying season begins, the housing market is expected to continue seeing high prices and intense competition. Kaleigh Tingelstad tells us what to look out for when buying a house.
It's a seller's market with the booming housing industry. Listings in Oklahoma are receiving up to 50 offers, and the offer has to be competitive.
And there were cars parked everywhere. It was kind of like in a cul-de-sac. You couldn't get in or out. There were people waiting in the front yard.
This video from Facebook shows how much demand there is for houses on the market. Packed streets and overlapping appointments are common for homes listed for sale. Cities all over the country are dealing with a lack of available homes. Agents with buyers can have a hard time, but those with sellers make the job easier.
It's great because you put it on the market, within depending on the price range, within like a week or 2, it's done. It's going to be sold.
You don't have to put as much of a push towards marketing it as you used to.
Signs like these are hard to come by, and if you find one, it won't stick around for long. Prospective buyers in Norman and Oklahoma City are struggling to find houses on sale, and if they can find one, it has to be in their price range.
Or you have to sacrifice things if you want a lower price.
According to Redfin, the Norman housing market is very competitive, and prices have gone up 7.1%. Kaleigh Tingelstad, OU Nightly.
If you are looking to buy a house, realtors suggest to find a good agent, get a lender, and try not to fall in love with a house.
Everywhere you look, prices seem to be going up, and the hair salon is no exception.
When we return, find out why it is that you may have to shovel out a little extra cash for a haircut.
While the sun is shining right now, we still have a chance for severe weather ahead looking into next week. OU Nightly's Gard has more on that coming up in weather.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. The storm system that we saw move through earlier this week and also dropped a couple tornadoes yesterday is finally moving off the East Coast, but we're going to see a better pattern returning here in Oklahoma in the coming days. Now you can see this area of high pressure starting to move over us by the end of the weekend. We're looking at much warmer temperatures before this next weather maker comes in next week, bringing us once again a chance for severe weather. But look at this weekend, beautiful 70s Friday and Saturday. 80s on Sunday and just pure sunshine. So maybe the first pool day of the year on Sunday, it's going to be beautiful. And we're really not looking at rainfall in the forecast until we get to Tuesday, and that's when we will see that chance for severe weather. So here's what we're looking at. We'll see this line of storms starting to move through Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, and we could see these become severe, but that'll push out into Thursday, leaving us with clear skies after that. But look at this storm energy. We have plenty of that Tuesday, so we certainly could see these becoming severe as we head into the beginning of next week, but we'll keep an eye out on that for you as we get closer. Right now, temperature trend. Temperatures above average throughout the next 7 days. It's going to be a lot warmer. We're looking at nice temperatures, but then after that, we will see below average temperatures returning, so get out there while you can. It is going to be beautiful in the coming days. Right now, sunshine. It's feeling a bit cool because of those northerly winds, but we are in the high 50s, almost in the 60s, cooling off into the low 50s later this evening if you're looking to head out there. And tonight, we will see those lows dipping into the 30s, waking up tomorrow in the 40s, but warming up quickly into the 70s statewide. And this weekend, just looking beautiful, will be in the 80s, warming up into the mid 80s Monday. And guys, we aren't looking at severe weather till once again Tuesday next week.
Thanks, Hannah. As gas prices continue to rise, some self-care expenses are increasing as well. The next time you make a hair appointment, know that it may be more expensive than in the past. Hairdressers have had to increase their prices due to product cost, rental rates, retail rates and rising. Getting to keep only a third of every paycheck, a local hairdresser says she's trying to keep costs as low as possible for customers while still trying to make a profit.
Because product has gone up so much, I have started just like tacking on a couple dollars instead of actually like retailing it, because I want my clients to still get good product.
Jo says along with rising prices, she's also noticed fewer clients coming through the doors recently.
And we heard there's a big donation coming to OU Athletics.
Yeah, Liv, could McCaslin Fieldhouse be getting a makeover soon?
That's right, OU Athletics just received a huge donation from McCaslin Fieldhouse and Loves Field. And while the facilities are getting some attention, so is senior guard Mady Williams, as she was just named a regional All-American. Sports is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. My name's Liv Walbeck, and it's time for sports. OU Vice President and Director of Athletics Joe Castiglione announced Wednesday that the McCaslin Foundation has pledged $1.75 million to Oklahoma athletics. $1.25 million from the donation will support renovations to the McCaslin Fieldhouse, and the remaining $500,000 will go directly to the construction of Loves Field. Senior basketball forward Mady Williams was named a Region 3 All-American finalist by the WBCA. This puts her one step closer to being named Oklahoma's 4th WBCA All-American. Williams has started every game this season, and by scoring double-digit points in all but 2 games, she's led OU to increase its win total by 13 games. After defeating Kentucky earlier this week, the OU softball team is set to play Baylor tomorrow at home. Freshman pitcher Jordy Ball has been owning the mound recently after throwing her 2nd career no-hitter against Iowa and earning Big 12 Co-Pitcher of the Week. Head coach Patty Gasso said her confidence and consistency is what sets her apart.
I just have not seen anything like it, especially from a freshman. And it's almost if she made 2 errors in a row. I go out and I talk with her a little bit. She doesn't need me. She knows with bases loaded, her attitude is, oh, no, not on me. Oh, no. It's just so confident. It's so steady. It's so consistent.
Sweet 16 matchups begin tonight in the men's bracket with number 1 Gonzaga taking on number 4 Arkansas. The Zags enter as a 9.5-point favorite over the Razorbacks, and the winner of this match will go on to face either Texas Tech or Duke. Moving over to the women's side, UConn is coming in hot. The Huskies face the Indiana Hoosiers this Saturday after defeating Mercer. And although freshman Azzi Fudd faced some setbacks earlier this season, she has already bounced back, averaging 12.2 points per game and paving the way to a victorious season for the Huskies. And the Thunder took the dub last night over the Magic to break a 10-game losing streak, 118-102. After breaking records earlier in the week, Gard Trey Mann racked up 21 points, and Teo Maledon scored 17 of his 25 season-high points in the 4th quarter. They take on the Denver Nuggets this Saturday at 8 p.m. And big news out of the NFL, Packers wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling has just signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Thanks, Liv. Wow, $30 million. Would you pay that to improve your golf game?
If you're a die-hard golfer, find out how some star-studded equipment could be yours after being put up for auction next on OU Nightly.
I'm Harry Robinson at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The White House has released a report today stating that officials must do more to ensure equal voting rights for Native Americans. Native populations vote at a rate that's 13% lower than the national average, though have made up key constituencies in election swing states. The report recommended that jurisdictions offer Indigenous language assistance and add voting routes in Indian country. Back to you in the studio.
If you have money burning in your pocket and feel like your golf clubs just aren't up to par anymore, Tiger Woods is selling some of his old clubs.
The irons and the wedges are up for auction, and they're what Tiger used to win all 4 majors across 2000 and 2001.
And while it's not guaranteed that you'll perform like Woods, the price tag is expected to be set in the multi-millions, so maybe it'll bring some luck with them. And it's been a nice break to see the sun today.
Yeah, I didn't have to wear a coat to class for the first time this week. Hannah, does that mean that's going to carry on through the next week?
Well, Adam, I mean, if I were buying Tiger Woods golf clubs, I would go out this weekend because we're going to be in the 70s on Saturday, 80s on Sunday. It's going to be beautiful. Just a couple clouds coming in by Monday, still in the mid-80s though. But if you look into next week, we are looking at another chance for some severe weather Tuesday and Wednesday. We could see that carry over. But overall, it's looking beautiful, guys. If you want to go golfing, I would definitely do that.
Thanks, Hannah, and thank you for joining us for OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Be sure to join us live weekdays at 4:30. Cheers and good night.